being here this afternoon for the press conference for the 40th edition of AHAR. Well, as you've seen, you've got some of the glimpse of the participation in AHAR this year. Let me start by saying that this is a extremely important sector for the Indian economy, and it is therefore for this reason that you've seen that this has been now in existence for the 40 years, the AHAR exhibition, to the livelihood of farmers, to the small and medium scale industry, and to employment, more broadly speaking, in our economy. Now, India has been one of the major producers of virtually every crop that you can think of. It's the largest producer, dairy producer, but one of the largest sugarcane, pulses, food grains, fruits and vegetables. But there are challenges in terms of realizing its full else that is equally important, and which is that in our rural areas, future employment generation is critically linked. It isn't just about the food and food processing sector. It also addresses the full range of activities and industries related to the hospitality sector in India. And when you look at the hospitality sector today, it is really one of the fastest growing sectors in India. And there are a number of reasons for it. One, of course, is our population. It's a young population, aspirational population. Second is the rapid growth in urbanization in India, changes in lifestyle, the digitalization which is leading to awareness and desire and aspirations even in the remotest parts of the countries, in the smallest of villages. There is rising prosperity. Business travel is growing very rapidly. Leisure travel is growing very rapidly. Outsourcing of events. So if you go to even the smallest of places, you will see now very high quality resorts and hotels catering to the wedding, birthday, and other celebrations. So there is a complete transformation that is taking place in the country, in lifestyles, in incomes, in demography, in business, in travel. And all of this is contributing to the development of both the processed food industry but also the hospitality sector. So hotel industry tells you that no matter how many hotels you keep building in India today, there is always going to be demand for more. There are places where during the wedding seasons you can't find a place. But linked to this then comes the rest, which is equipment, which is all kinds of decor that is needed for it, kitchen equipment, storage equipment, cold chains, all of that, those industries are now growing very rapidly in the country. And you would have also seen there is a growing demand now for culinary schools in India. When I was last in Paris as ambassador from 20 to 2024, now France is considered to be a sort of the global center for cuisine and culinary art. I was amazed at some of the biggest schools there. There were some of the most famous culinary schools in the world had a very large percentage of cohorts who were from India. And many of those principals or directors of those academies or schools would tell me that now the largest number of applications come from India. And when I used to speak to those students, 95% of them would want to return to India and start their own bakery, confectionery, restaurant, experience. This is the big change that is taking place in the country. But outside that is also the exports. Now, as you are aware that we, in these difficult times, in these turbulent times for global trade, a subject on which we can come back later, we are placing a lot of emphasis on diversifying our trading partners through a series of FTAs, but also market push. And one of the key priorities in our export strategy is obviously to promote the exports of uh, agro products, processed food, but also of, in a way, reaching out to the world with labor intensive, um, small scale sector driven industries. And food processing is at the heart of this. As many of you know, that today we have approximately, we've just seen that $350 billion is the value of 354 billion is the value of our food processing sector. That accounts for literally 9% of India's manufacturing global value addition and 13% of organized sector employment. It is now the fifth largest sector in the world, and it contributes about 32% of all food market. 6% of our industrial investments take place in the processed food sector, and the average growth has been about 7.3 or 7.5% over the past decade. 7.5% per annum over the past decade is really, really huge. And then we look ahead, the 350 billion is expected to become 700 billion by 2030. So expect a doubling again in the next 5 years. Our exports are perhaps not as promising as our domestic industry has been, but in certain areas we're doing extremely well, in rice, in marine products, for example, animal products, spices, but increasingly now we are also doing better in some of the processed food, including those based on dairy. So total exports, as you've seen, about 49 billion, which is really about 12 to 13% of our total exports. And of those 49 billion, the processed food sector is about 20%. So you're looking at really about 9.5 to 10 billion dollars at the moment of processed food exports. And but this share has actually increased from 14% some years ago to maybe which in say 10 years ago, but it is now 20%. So what you're seeing is a very interesting phenomenon, that the exports of our agro sector is growing, but at the same time, the share in that of the processed food, which is the value addition and which creates more employment, is also growing as a share from 14% in 2015 to 20% now. We're looking ahead, despite all the turbulence and turmoil that you see in the world, with some great optimism. As you know, that the overall India's exports in this fiscal year is going to be, despite all that, almost the same level as we had, and with a marginal increase over the previous fiscal year. And this is as a result of great diversification in trade. We're looking to the future also with optimism because of the number of FTAs that have been signed. And at the heart of those FTAs is also the opportunity to open markets for our food processing sector in some of the most important markets in the world, including the European Union, UK, EFTA, and we're looking ahead to several more FTAs which are under negotiations. So it's against this backdrop that we are here for AHAR, the 40th edition. As you've just seen, we are going to have a higher level of participation this year. But let me pause and say this, that the industry, and this is an important point I wanted to make, is beyond the figures. We have 12 industry associations which are our partners this year, or which are, besides individual participants, there are 12 industry associations. And when we speak to those industry associations, two things emerge. One is this very high level of optimism and confidence about the growth prospects in India of the entire food processing sector, but as I said, the hospitality sector in all its dimensions. This was reflected also in the demand for space. the demand for exhibition space this year is much higher than what we had last year, and in fact, it perhaps far exceeds the space that is available or usable space that is available over here. Sometimes, and of course, in the future years, we'll be seeing expansion of the Bharat Mandapam also with redevelopment in the second phase. But to me, that's a great sign. And so when we look at the numbers today, what you need to also bear in mind is the fact that there is a certain degree of unsatisfied demand for exhibition space, for other things. So the 40th edition today has many, 1,800 participants. We have 150 odd exhibitors from abroad, from 17 countries. Total area that is under the exhibition space is 125,000 square meters, taking into account certain ancillary services also. The range of products that are displayed cover everything from processed food to bakery, confectionery. We have equipment of all kinds that go into the hospitality sector, the home, the decor for the hospitality sector. So all of this is on display. For the first time, we also have a partner country, and Italy was an important choice for us in the first year for a number of reasons. One, of course, it builds on the EU-India FTA that was concluded during the historic EU-India summit on January 27. Second, we've seen a dramatic increase in India-Italy ties over the last few years, especially under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. They've really seen a lot of momentum in the last few years. Italy is, of course, one of the leading countries in the world for tourism, hospitality, and the culinary art. So we're very delighted that Italy accepted our offer to be the partner country, and I think they will bring a great deal of value to this AHAR. And when I look at the foreign companies, we do see a large number coming from Australia, from Brazil, Canada, Italy, of course, and Thailand. This United Kingdom, these are the countries which have the largest number of participants. And in terms of facilities this year, we have as I said, what unique features this year includes, of course, the Italy as the first partner country. There is now, of course, a demand from others for future years. The second is that we have a very nice now comprehensive app for AHAR, which has a very easy way of navigating through everything that you would want in AHAR, from navigating your way through all the exhibitors, but also setting up business meetings, looking at other kinds of facilities, even booking rides and so on and so forth. So I encourage all of you, we have a little bit of a play on the new app today, but encourage all of you to download the app later and see the experience that it provides. So we'll continue to try and improve it. This year we have air-conditioned food courts for the visitors, which will add a great deal of convenience since the March temperatures seem to be much higher. To me, one of the most attractive features of AHAR every year is the MasterChef competition, and the chef's competition is being organized by and the jury is going to be the World Association of Chef Society, and the jury will include renowned chefs from 6 to 7 countries, and that is, we expect 600 participants from all over India competing every day based on a particular, a sort of call that will be given for preparing a certain kind of a thing. So 600, 200 professionals, 400 amateurs will be there. In addition, there will be, of course, international cuisine displays and opportunities for tasting them. So we have a pretty interesting that so far, despite the fact that we've had such disruptions due to the war in West Asia and the Gulf, that the participation remains, especially the international participation, it remains pretty strong. We haven't seen or at least received any great number of cancellations. I'm sure there will be a few who will not be able to turn up, but all the stalls have been set up, and so far we've not seen any cancellation insofar as stalls are concerned. But we'll see. Every day is a new reality, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow. But so far, it has been very encouraging. So thank you very much.